Hello friends, and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This video is part of the playlist called Excel Tutorial, and here we'll be learning how to use a data entry form created in Excel. Okay, so this is actually a continuation of sorts of what I discussed in the previous video with the link provided in the description below. That video will teach you how to create a data entry form in Excel. And we shall continue where we left off from that video. We shall be using the demo file used in that video in getting to the next level of this bit of information. Okay, so this is the demo Excel which I created. This started as a plain text, data in spreadsheet with not much formatting turned into a table. And then, so in that video, which I have posted in the description below, just a quick recap. We did some kind of setup so that in this area over here, you can see the form button. Okay, once you point on this, the tooltip text shows you form. Okay, so that was the setup that was done on the quick access toolbar. This is called the quick access toolbar. Okay, and then we prepare the data. But even if you don't have a data yet, at the very least, you should have already the column headings. So this was, anyway, I'm talking about the steps done in the previous video to create a data entry form. In this video, the assumption is that you already have a data entry form in Excel. Okay, so if you don't know that step, I suggest you go to the description below and watch that previous video first before you get to this one. Okay, so here the assumption is that you have already created a data entry form in Excel. Okay, so now in my case, there's already a data entry form which is based on this data over here. So this is just a demonstration, so you only have a few columns, a few rows. In reality, you could have hundreds, if not thousands of rows. Okay, so let's get on and open or launch the form, so which is based on this data. So again, on the quick access toolbar here, I will just click. I will first put my mouse, click on anywhere within the data set, even here or here, and then I will click on the form button. It will invoke or launch the form. One little thing that I mentioned in the previous video is that when you created your data entry form, you prepared this Excel sheet. The sheet name here is very important. Make it descriptive, like in my case, this is the name, because that name gets inherited and passed on and becomes the title of the form. So now it becomes the title of the form here. Okay, so this data entry form, which didn't require a lot of effort. The effort was more on the setting up to display the form button in the quick access toolbar. That's it. So now your data entry form. In this video, we'll be learning how to get around this, how to make full use of this data entry form. Okay, so as in any electronic form, we will use it for four major reasons: inquiry, whatever your accent may be, or to view the data, or second is to create data or insert a record, insert data. Third is to edit, change something, and the fourth is to delete. Okay, so we have already launched the form, and it is displaying the first record in the data set, which is the one with the employee ID 1, which is the first record over here in the Excel sheet. Okay, so you can navigate your way around this to get to the next record in a couple of ways. One is, as I mentioned in the previous video, you can use the scroll bar. Okay, this to scroll quickly or one by one by clicking on the arrow key of the scroll bar. Another way is just using either of these two buttons on the right side, either find previews or find next. Okay, so now we're at row number 1, which incidentally also has a value of 1 for employee ID. If I click on the find next, although it's called find, but it actually goes to the next record. Okay, so if I click on find next, it goes to the next record, which is employee ID 2. and so on. Keep on clicking. You can do this because there are only a few records here. If you have 100, then it will be quite a lot of clicks. So if I keep on clicking, now we're at employee ID 7, 8, 9, and wait till we get to 10. And then we're at 10 now, which is the last record. Now, if I click again, see what happens. Okay, so you hear that sound audible, which is telling you that you're already at the last record. So you can never get to a so-called next record. There's none. You're already at the last record. That's the meaning of that. So same thing where if we want to go up and go to the previous record, we can also navigate that way by clicking on the Find Previous button. So it goes to employee ID 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then now that we're at record number 1, which also happens to have an employee ID of 1, if I click on Find Previous button, see what happens again. So the same thing, meaning you're already at the top most record, so you're not getting anywhere. If you keep on clicking, there's no point of clicking on Find Previous because you're already at the top, at the first record of the data set. Okay, that's the meaning of that. So we have seen navigation. Next is doing inquiry or query or trying to look for specific data. Let's just say you wanted to take a look or even make changes to a data, which is specific data that you want to zoom in on. Let's just say you wanted to view, just imagine, again, this is just a demonstration. You only have 10 records here. In reality, you could have hundreds, if not thousands of data. So it's not really that, it's not a good idea to just keep on scrolling or clicking on the find next, right? Because if you have hundreds, if not thousands of records. So you can do this other thing, which is making use of the button called criteria. Okay, let's just say you're looking for a record of somebody named Bill, but you don't see it here because there are hundreds, if not thousands of records. So you click on the criteria button, and then in the name field, depending on which your criteria will be, in my case, the criteria will be for searching will be the name. So I will type Bill. It's not case sensitive. I can even do it, let's say all lowercase, that will still work. So once I type the search criteria, which is not case sensitive, I can just press on enter, and it will return to me if there's a match. So it finds a match and it shows that the related data set, okay, of that record. Okay, so employee ID 10, the name is Bill Smith. You see, it can accept, it's not case sensitive when you do a search. So that is searching. We're able to search. Also known as querying or doing a query. Okay. Next is creating data, inserting data, or adding data. If you wanted to insert, when we say insert, it doesn't mean it will be somewhere in the middle. By default, it will be created after the last record. Okay. So if I click on new, let's just say we are at, I'll just show you. So right now we are at record number 5, employee ID 5, and then I click on new button. Okay, let me give it 11 so that it makes sense. I will get some name. Okay, just okay. So if I close this, you see that it gets created right after the last record of the data set, even though at that time I was, if I'm not mistaken, I was at row number 5. So instead of creating at 6, it logically creates after the last record. Okay, so it created it at row number 11, employee ID 11. Okay, so we have learned here how to create a record. Next is how to edit. Again, let me just open the form because I've closed it. To open the form, you click anywhere on the data set that you have, even on the column heading, and then you click on the form button in the quick access toolbar. Okay, we're gonna learn how to edit this time. So let's just say, again, if you have hundreds, if not thousands of records on your data set, so it's not a good idea to navigate record by record. Okay, so let's just say you wanted to edit the data of somebody named donut, John Donut. Okay, so I click on the criteria button. The fields get cleared because it gives you the leeway, it gives you the ability to enter, it gives you a free hand to give you your preferred search criteria. So again, I will use name because it's very convenient. So I will just say, I'm looking for this guy named Donut. Let me just type part of it, okay? Again, it's case insensitive, okay? And then I click on enter. Okay, no, it doesn't work. So let me enter the whole thing, okay? Why doesn't it work? Okay. That's strange. Okay, let me just try something else. John. Let me close this. Criteria. Okay, let me just try again. So this one is working. Okay, so maybe it's not so smart. It doesn't look at that. It only looks at the beginning of the string. So let's just say, so I searched, if you have seen it, I searched based on John. And then I went to this guy, this record. So I can proceed to make the changes that I want to, okay? Okay, so I made my changes, and then again, I mean here, you don't see a save button, okay? You can just close this form, and then you can do the saving from within the Excel file, okay? Okay, and then, although you can do your changes and then do the saving at the end, okay? That's also okay. So we've done edit, you've seen edit. Last but not least, we will learn how to delete a record in Excel, in an Excel data entry form. So again, let's just say there are so many records and you wanted to zoom in on a specific record that you wanted to delete. You click on the criteria button, and then in the name, let me just try lowercase. Okay, it finds that. Okay, so we use this criteria button to search for the record that we wanted to delete. And then once I'm there, I can just click on the delete button. And then it will prompt you this saying displayed record will be permanently deleted. So it's up to you. If you have made no mistake, this is the one that you wanted to delete, then you can just click on OK. Okay, and then again, there's no save button over here. You just close, and then you can save it here. Okay, and you can see in the data sheet that that row number 11 where the name AAA is gone now. And true enough, if you launch the form again by first clicking on anywhere within the data set and then clicking the form button in the quick access toolbar, then you will see, if you navigate through it, that that record is gone now. Because in fact, this is just a reflection. This form, whatever you see here, is just a reflection, a graphical representation of what is already in the sheet, in the data sheet. Okay, so there you go. We've learned in the previous video, we've learned how to create a data entry form. If you haven't, you don't know that step, the steps how to create a data entry form in Excel, you can check out the link to that video in the description below. If you have a background already, or you have seen that video, you can learn in this video. And we have, in fact, learned how to do a couple of things in a data entry form in Excel. Navigating through it, querying, inquiry using a search criteria button, inserting data, also known as creating data, editing data, making changes to it, as well as deleting data, okay? So I hope you've learned something new from this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I do suggest you click subscribe, click the bell, and share the word with your friends. Yeah, and I will be seeing you in the next video.